Alrighty. I just saw a little clip. This is going to be a super quick one as well. Saw a little clip of Hillary Clinton, and I'm not going to mention any of the things that they are alleged to have participated in. I'm sure everyone has maybe heard a thing or two about that. But she was speaking once again about rights. About rights, gay rights, women's rights, trans rights, migrant rights. The things that you have to get. You have to give me these things. These are my rights. I know my rights. Rights. Well, I was taught by my social studies or my society and environment teacher two things that started with R. And they were called rights, and then to gain your rights, you had responsibilities. The problem, to put it absolutely as plainly and as attempt to just offer this little thing up, just like, well, have you ever thought about it this way? To the entire fucking global feminist cult is, do you think there is a problem with basing your feminist ideology of rights at the obvious high point of the patriarchal situation that you are pushing back against, and then mirroring that? So you are mirroring the high point of the rights of Western civilization, patriarchal culture, not the starting point, the high point. Now, doesn't that kind of, in its essence, obfuscate, haven't you all obfuscated your responsibility to develop your own series of responsibilities in order to make sure that all persons receive the rights that you speak of? That all women receive the rights that you speak of. Those rights that you pinched off the top shelf, you know what I mean, perched on your little chair in your little tutu with your little stealing biscuits out of the cookie jar, wasn't put there by cavemen dragging women along the sand and then clubbing them and raping them. Despite that being the oversimplified cartoon that you have then directly indoctrinated the world with. So you have failed in your responsibility to adequately educate both men and women to the actual situation of rights and responsibilities, and how those two things need to be in balance and need to be utilized and acted upon and taken seriously, specifically the responsibility column, in order so that we can all benefit from the rights that were established under the highest civilized point of the Western civilized patriarchal system. There is never a mention of responsibility. The only responsibility I hear from women is their responsibility to provide their children with what I would describe as luxury. Luxury items, luxury food, luxury entertainment, luxury stimulation. Specifically recently, luxury stimulation in the sexual department in HD 1080p, streaming fucking never-ending smorgasbord of fucking people being sexually abused on camera. That is not what you have you have a responsibility to educate your children, to prepare them for difficulties, to, prepare them to speak properly, to use non-violent verbal communication, which you love that, don't you? Non-violent verbal communication it's not burning flags and protesting and yelling "gas the Jews" or yelling for a global uprising. If that was the order that had established the high watermark series of rights that you are mirroring, that you have pinched, that you are impersonating, that you have commandeered, hijacked like pirates, we never would have gotten anywhere. Vast empires, nations, kingdoms, regions, religions have for the last 1,000 years gotten very, very good for the most part. There have been exceptional, uprisings and flare-ups. But it appears to me that the bloated, spoilt suffragettes, spared from the horrors of World War I and World War II, wandered into the rubble and fucking raised their fucking flag above every nation in the Western world and never, ever, ever surrendered. They heard the words of Winston Churchill and they took it seriously. We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them on the thing. We will fight them on the landing grounds. We will fight them. We will never surrender. Whatever the cause. He was speaking to the men. He was not speaking to the women. We have deteriorated beyond imagination. We are in a place where we have to dig down for 5 days through the rubble of your fucking feminist revolution just to find a place that we can establish a conversation in reality. Now, I think that every man, woman, and child has the right to know exactly where they are. That's it. To know what structure, what system, what order, what laws, what rules, down to the most simplest of things. That's it. Because without that, you cannot do anything. That is the highest right, to not be deceived by their very parents into believing that they are in something else, to not be indoctrinated by their schools, to participate in their own genocide, to assemble and to construct their own concentration camps, their own fucking gas chambers, to appease the guilt of 8 decades of feminist fucking lunacy. And if you want to know who's to blame for this, and this is the real thing, it's like, you will take credit. My lesbian small business teacher, Miss Flett, who failed me in the first term of year 12, which forced me to, which failed my entire year 12 because I did an audiovisual course. Audiovisual course in year 11, and because I did that course, I needed to pass all subjects. And Miss Flett, my lesbian small business teacher, failed me in first term. Just because she didn't like me. She 100% didn't like me. I was sitting on my Apple, or not mine, but my Apple iMac, the colourful jelly bean looking ones, plodding away, planning businesses. I've been doing that since I was pretty young. Got in an argument with her about something like a reasonable question. And this is the thing, it's like every single thing in every subject is to be questioned right now. Every teacher attempting to fucking shove this ridiculous curriculum down the throats of Australian children should go home and drink themselves to death after the amount of arguments that they should be subjected to if they wish to continue this. And if our socialist government wants to, has to basically create therapy and respites and all these things and PTSD treatment and all these things for their ridiculous, inquisitors, that they are sending out masquerading as teachers, you know, that they've scraped with a spatula off the floor of an MDMA coma from some ridiculous music festival, chucked in front of a little thing, and then chucked and expected to babysit a bunch of fucking debt slaves' children and fill them with the perpetual knowledge that they should be guilty forever. That's it. It's like that. Remember how people used to just, the answers were in the back? That should be the answers. Like every book at a school right now in West Australia or Australian school, you go to the back, it's all your fault, Jimmy. It's all your fault, Dave. It's all your fault, Paul, Peter, Jack, Henry, Luke, Tom, Billy, Michael, Matthew. It's all your fault. It's at the back. It's written at the back of the book. I've done your homework for you. I've done everything for you. That's what they're telling you. And I'm here to tell you, rip that fucking book out, rip that page out, rip it to fucking shreds. Go home, do your homework for the first time ever, and come up with 3 questions on how to question the validity of your teacher's rhetoric. Every day, 3 questions. Miss, why is this? What responsibility? Da 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 da. What da 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 da. Rhetoric. To enforce the rhetoric. Enforce them to bring their rhetoric out of the fucking, out of the ether, out of the mist, out of the dark woods, and bring it hard and fast to the front of their political publications, whether it be on social media or on the newspapers or anything, or their websites. What is your rhetoric? Look at that. Free baby Oz. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's like that fucking ABC song. Can you see it? Free. Wouldn't I have been an amazing teacher? But I wasn't allowed to be a teacher because I'm a Jew. Au revoir.